Alright fam, welcome back. Energy Web Token Staking, how it's going to work. That is the topic of today's video because a lot of people have been asking me, dude, have you heard about the Energy Web Token Staking? And yeah, I've heard about it and it's gonna be a game changer. I talked about Energy Web Token in my last video, so be sure to check it out there. It's gonna explain how Energy Web Token really works if you're new to Energy Web Token. But Energy Web Token is a game changer. And today, we're really going to take a look at how staking is really going to work, how they foresee it's going to work, because it's not out yet, because they're still planning on how it's going to work. But a lot of the groundwork has already been done, and I'm just going to share that with you today. I encourage you to watch through this entire video because with Energy Web Token Staking, you could be earning between 10 to 20% on your EWTs. Other than that, if you haven't already, please be sure to smash a like button, smash a subscribe, and now let's talk about Energy Web Token Staking. First things first, let's actually get some current news on EWT before we get started. Now, if you don't know what Energy Web Token is, then you can check out my video on Energy Web Token Explained to get a deep dive in 10 minutes about what Energy Token and its whole infrastructure really is. In short though, EWT is a project that aims to integrate blockchain technology in with the current energy sector. One of the big features is that it aims to create a decentralized energy exchange. This bad boy traded as low as $11.38 on February 28th, and it reached a new all-time high of $18.73 on March 3rd. Guys, this is an increase of 65% over a couple days. Now, this is mainly due to the fact that Kraken has listed EWT on its exchange, and Kraken is the fourth largest cryptocurrency exchange by volume, and it has provided EWT with its largest trading market to date. So trading volume for EWT increased by 265% following the listing on Kraken, and the price continues to increase as speculators wonder which exchange is going to list EWT next. On another note, EWT announces staking and utility nodes. EWT announced on February 25th that staking would be enabled for token holders in the form of an escrow-based decentralized service level agreement, or SLA. This will allow utility nodes to be created that'll offer services on the network, with their stake acting as incentives to provide quality service. If you guys haven't noticed yet, EWT or Energy Web Token has the first mover advantage in the decentralization of the energy industry. Alright, with that said, let's change gears and talk about what an SLA is and what is EWDOS. So the first thing we need to do is we need to understand what a service level agreement or SLA is. Because in the energy sector where everything is tight-knit, mistakes cannot be made. And that means that there must be certain guarantees in order for the energy sector to really buy in. And this doesn't exist in only the energy sector. SLAs exist across multiple different industries. So SLAs are incredibly important when it comes to the widespread adoption of new technologies into current industries. So think like software as a service and cloud computing. Service level agreements really gives enterprise consumers confidence by providing guaranteed performance and availability at a fixed cost. In addition, they give the vendors clear delivery requirements and clear revenue streams. So right from the get-go, they know how much money they're gonna make. EWDOS stands for Energy Web Decentralized Operating System, and it aims to become the standard for digital identity and infrastructure in the energy sector. To accomplish this, it is required for them to know how to deliver the guarantees and the convenience of as-a-service subscriptions so that their customers can really come and go as they please. That's the idea of as-a-service, right? Because you're not just locked into one energy service provider. You can go to many. You could do whatever you want. If you're not fine with them, you could leave. So that works just like Amazon Web Services. If you're not okay with Amazon Web Services, then you can just leave and find someone else. That kind of plays into the roles, into the aim that Energy Web Token is trying to do in becoming a decentralized energy exchange. So to fulfill the SLAs, EW actually came up with a model called the EWT Escrow and Subscription Model. That is the solution, and it provides three benefits to three groups. First, we have the users, which are like the grid companies and the energy companies. They gain access to performant and reliable services that comes from the applications on EWDOS. Second, we have the operators of EWDOS, which are the validators and the technology vendors. They can build stable, profitable business models around hosting infrastructure nodes on the public network. And thirdly, we have the EWT community, which is you and me. Now we get a new way to use our EWT to help develop and grow the EWDOS project. This will accelerate the adoption of EWT in the energy sector. decarbonize the grid faster, and hopefully, and actually that will be appreciating the price of your EWT faster. Alright, now we're at the meat of the video. How does EWT staking or escrow work? Well, like proof of stake or POS, EWT escrow rewards the good actors for good behaviors and penalizes bad actors for bad behaviors. So in proof of stake, if you do things right and correct, you get rewarded with more crypto. If you do things bad, then you get your stake, what you put in there to actually be a validator, you get that stake slashed, so you lose your crypto. So EWT escrow has the same idea here. Whereas other blockchains uses proof of stake to achieve consensus in the blockchain, EWT uses it a bit differently. EWT escrow is used to achieve performance guarantees for digital services, like key management, data storage, and high volume messaging are kind of examples of that. These services are needed in order to build any sort of application on EWDOS. So basically, normal blockchains with proof of stake, what they're doing is they have all these transactions and the validators or stakers are there to validate those transactions. What EWT escrow is saying is that we don't care about validating these transactions. We care about keeping the service level agreements validated at all times. And that means that we're going to guarantee performance and service at all times. That is what we want you stakers to do. The EWT escrow model has two primary roles, and anybody can be these two roles. First, there are the service providers or the providers, and they're basically organizations that operate utility layer service nodes. So they are required to pass background checks and have a minimum balance of EWTs in an escrow smart contract for a multi-year period. Now that balance can be bought by themselves or it can be contributed to by EWT token holders in the community. So the providers launch and maintain the service nodes or the utility layer nodes that the subscribers need. And remember, the subscribers are pretty much the companies, the energy organizations that are using EW. And the providers make money by delivering the services and the performances required as dictated by the SLAs. Alright, so there you go. That's the technical details of what a service provider is. Do you really need to know about that? No, not really. You just need to know about what they do, because chances are you're not going to be a service provider, because what they have to do is they have to maintain the infrastructure, the network. They have to buy all this expensive equipment in order to operate a node, and they have to keep that maintained 24/7. So you're not going to be doing that. I don't want to do that. Nobody wants to do that, because you're not going to be able to take a vacation. You don't have to worry about anything about the service providers other than the things that I'm going to cover a little bit later in this video. And then we have patrons, which are you and I as individuals and organizations. So we deposit EWT in an escrow for the providers. So basically, we're just lending our EWT to the service providers. There are no minimum balances or lockup periods for us, and we can withdraw or transfer our EWT at any time from the escrow accounts. So why is this? Why do they give us such perks? Well, this creates competition for the providers to deliver the most reliable service and thus earning them the most reward or money, and to offer the best and most competitive revenue sharing models, which are used to attract patrons. Because if they don't follow the rules, then they will get killed and they'll go bankrupt. So think about it. Let's say you have two providers and you can move your EWT anytime to any of the providers. That means if provider A delivers a service that provides A grade performance and they charge a commission fee of 1%, while B gives a performance of D and they charge a commission of 50%. Which one are you going to pick? You're going to go with A, obviously, because they provide you a better return. So currently there are no limits to the providers. They actually need hundreds to thousands of providers operating thousands of nodes globally to ensure geographic coverage and network reliability for millions of applications and end users. And to be a provider, you need between 10,000 to 100,000 EWT tokens, with an additional 1K to 10K EWT tokens per service node. The escrow requirement for service nodes are evaluated independently along with its performance, and this whole thing is just to prevent monopolization. But becoming a provider is actually really hard, because to become a provider, you must commit yourself to deliver service and performance for at least 2 years. If you stop before those 2 years are up, you risk losing your entire escrow balance. But those who commit to delivering service for longer than 2 years, the more years you have, these guys will earn more each year, so that incentivizes them to take on longer contracts of service delivery and performance. The annual income for providers and patrons are between 10 and 20%, and that is what you should expect. But the most important part, and I saved the best for last, is that you have to evaluate your provider carefully. Consider not only the revenue sharing terms, but also their reputation, their overall historical performance, and their individual node metrics. Because let's say your provider backs out before the 2-year contract is up, then they risk losing the entire escrow balance. And if you invested with them, then that means you risk losing your entire escrow or your entire EWT tokens along with them. That's it, guys. That's a proposal of how the EWT escrow system will work. Things might change later down the road. It's not set in stone yet, but that's what we have right now. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to share it with a fellow EWT token holder. Other than that, if you haven't already, please be sure to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, check out these other videos on cryptocurrencies and passive income, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.